Everybody trains your back wrong. And I'm going to tell you why, especially in a home gym. You either don't have a structure or you're not connecting with your back. You're not creating enough volume and you're not selecting the right exercise and you're going too heavy. We got to just stop trying to lift so heavy if you want to grow your back. So what I want to try to do today is just break down my philosophy or how I structure my back training and what I think about, when I pick movements and when I go through the movements so that I can walk you through my execution of a typical back day and what I think about so I can connect with my back and every aspect of my back. So let's get into it. The biggest thing when I think about back is making sure that we're hitting all our bases. So that means upper back, mid back, low back, whatever it is. There's so many muscles in our back, and without overcomplicating it, you got to make sure you're hitting all these areas. So if at minimum you think about sort of 3 main movers, right? To do that, pull downs, rows, deadlifts, etc. So I'm going to walk through sort of my exercise. I'm going to include about 5 exercises today that kind of show you how I kind of hit all my bases. You don't need to start at that. You can start actually with 3 main exercises that can tackle all that very easily, which is, like a pull down, a row, and a bent over row. So, that's the premise that we got to think about. We're doing that. And we really got to think about creating enough volume to create that stimulus so we can actually grow. I think the challenge is that people are hearing way too much today. Less is more, do 2 sets to failure and do it twice a week. That's not the solution to grow your back. And the other thing is you got to lower the weight. So I highly recommend for men or dads, especially as you're getting older, if your back is not growing, you got to check yourself. You got to ask yourself and challenge yourself and say, am I lifting too heavy? So the first thing I would ask you to do is lower the weight. Get a weight that you can do 15 reps and actually feel it. Check the ego. Don't worry about the weight. You got to get to a point where you can start with 15 reps. Once you learn how to connect with your back, engage with your lats and different parts of the meat of your back, your mid back, your rhomboids, your traps, etc. When you're feeling it, over time, you're connecting with it. It's like riding a bike. Once you learn how to do it, you'll never forget it. So once you learn how to connect with that back, always never lose that. Mind muscle connection, I think, is going to be king here. And once you get to that point, maybe you can get down to that 10 to 12 rep range and increase the weight slightly over time. But don't do it thinking about that, I just need to lift more, okay? You gotta stop that. There's no value in just keep trying to do 200-300 pound pull downs, trying to do as heavy as you can on deadlift. It's not giving you your growth. And I think, again, if you challenge yourself, is your back actually growing? And the answer probably, if you're watching this video, is no. So how I structure it is you got to build enough volume into your back day or any day that you can recover. But you might have maximized that volume, in my opinion, which means you got to start. If you start with 3 exercises, start with 3 sets each. Keep the weight the same, work up to a 15 rep weight, start with that and build up over time. And you want to keep adding volumes very slowly until you're at a point where maybe that's just too much and I can't recover. But again, start at that. That's my recommendation. Let's get into sort of my execution and how I get to what exercises, some typical exercises that I'm actually using on a regular basis and how I execute them and what I think about to engage, let's say, my lats, which I think many individuals struggle with connecting with their lat. So let's get into it. Okay, we got the first one here. It's just underhand grip, lat pull down, very traditional, but a lot of people get this wrong. And what you can see what I'm doing here is I'm trying to lock in at the very beginning to my lat. You need to find your lat and your positioning, and then you can lock in and start rowing. And the other thing to understand is that my motion it's a full range within the lats, right? It's not I'm overextending or bringing it down too far. I bring it down as far as I possibly can when my lat is fully engaged, and then I release it back up. And you can see that there's no drastic momentum. It's a smooth motion and it's all in the lat. And that's the biggest thing to understand. We got overhand grip here, just another variation. again, I'm trying to, retract those shoulder blades back and get into that lat and keep it in that lat the whole time and elevate that chest as I come forward. You need to connect with it the best you can. And if you can't find it, you gotta find it beforehand. You gotta flex. You gotta do those movements that you can connect with it, right? And again, you can see there's a stretch, but it's not overextended. That's the thing that you gotta understand. And it's only so far down until you potentially might lose that engagement with your lat. Anything further is just literally elbow flexion and bicep engagement. Next thing here is, bent over row, very traditional movement. A lot of people get this wrong. I mean, this is a more of an upright torso here, which I really enjoy. It's really helped me over the years engage my lats. It's still going to pull your upper back a little bit. But this is the one I like the best that has worked for me very well. But you got to really tuck those elbows. And again, squeeze those lats as hard as you can. Seated row, you're going to get a lot of the upper and mid back here. But again, you need to see how I press forward my chest. I'm not just swinging backwards. There's a nice stretch, full contraction. You can see the engagement in my upper back there and then the upper portion of my lat as well. You're tensioning it all the way forward and you're releasing it gradually and you're keeping it in all the muscles in your back. And you got to feel it. Don't pull with your elbow. Don't pull with your bicep. Pull with your back and keep it there. Going to get into some, chest supported row. I mean, not everybody has this, but you can use a bench. This is a great pad to use. But this is another one, upper back, rear delts. You're still going to get lat engagement, especially how I have this here. Again, very similar to bent over row. It's getting the elbows tucked. And then when I'm releasing, you're seeing a bit more of a stretch and extension and sort of wrapping around that pad to give you that full stretch in the traps and everything in the upper back. And last thing here is deadlift. And I still think deadlift is a very good exercise if you do it correctly. And what I mean is don't load it as heavy as you possibly can. Get the 8 to 10 rep range so that you get good stimulus and support throughout your entire back, your erectors, your mid back, your traps. And you should feel it in those areas, but it's got to be slow and controlled. And you can see here, it's not a ton of weight. It's 225 pounds. I can pull significantly more weight. But again, I'm trying to target my back and every part of my back to help round it off. And this is a great exercise to finish with because you're more fatigued and you're not going to lift as heavy naturally and allows you again to stimulate the back, and that's what we're looking for.